So my name is Bryan Harrison. I am a postdoctoral fellow in clinical psychology in the Division of Neurodevelopmental and Behavioral Pediatrics. I'm also a graduate of the Ph.D. in clinical psychology program here at the University of Rochester as well. So I applied to a lot of different graduate programs when I was trying to get into a Ph.D. in clinical psychology, and I picked Rochester because I thought it provided the best mix of opportunities both for applied and basic research as it relates to working with children with autism and their families. I had an opportunity to work with Louisa Bonetto on the River campus, and as part of my graduate training I've had a chance to work with a lot of other people that are very invested in helping people with autism and studying how it is we can best help people with autism spectrum disorders. I've had a chance to work with Tristram Smith, Susan Hyman, Susanna, a variety of other people that have been instrumental in my training since I've started here and my graduate program. I've loved living in Rochester. I actually didn't know where Rochester was before I applied to it for graduate school. I almost accidentally booked a flight for Rochester, Minnesota. Thankfully I picked the right city. And I didn't really know that much until I got here, but I've really fallen in love with this city. And my wife and I have had 2 children, and we plan to spend the rest of our life here. It's a great area to raise a family. It's incredibly affordable, which may not sound like the most important reason to pick a graduate program, but it matters, especially when you look at other areas of the country that have a higher cost of living. This is a place where my wife and I were able to buy a home before I even started graduate school. That's how affordable it is to live in Rochester, and it's also a place where there's a lot of nice housing opportunities for young professionals, both near the University of Rochester and in the surrounding suburbs. There's a lot of opportunities to collaborate with other researchers across the different campuses here at the university, because we have researchers both at the medical center and on the River campus who have either a core or peripheral interest in studying people with autism spectrum disorders. If there is an idea that you have about studying people with autism, you can really follow up on it here. And I found that my supervisors and my mentors have been incredibly open to facilitating a dialogue between each other so that I could really pursue my research interests while I was in graduate school and to follow through with that as part of my clinical training during my postdoc. I've been really impressed by my supervisors' knowledge of different areas as it relates to developmental disabilities. I have supervisors who have specialty, obviously, in autism spectrum disorders because that's my interest as well, but I've also been supervised by people who have a specialized background in intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities, a range of anxiety and depression, comorbid psychiatric conditions, and I really feel like coming away from the end of my postdoctoral fellowship, I have a really great broad training in how to work with people with developmental differences and to be able to provide services that I know are based in science, because, and this is something I've really loved about being at this university, I've been here long enough that I had a chance to be a trained clinician on a randomized clinical trial where I was working with Tristram Smith to see whether or not we could actually teach parents to modify their children's behavior to improve children with autism's behavioral functioning. And since I've been here, the study has since been published, but we've also rolled it out into one of our clinics that postdoctoral fellows can be part of. So I've actually had the chance to see something go from an idea to something that we put in practice here at this very hospital, and it's had a tremendous impact on our community. And there's a long waiting list because a lot of families have heard about our program and they're waiting for other postdoctoral fellows to provide that service for them. So I've had the chance to be a Len Fellow twice over. I was a Len Fellow in my 3rd year of graduate school and again as part of my postdoctoral fellowship. And the part of the experience that really resonated with me was getting connected with another family in the area who has a child with autism. And that experience has stayed with me over the past 6 years since I first met them. I've stayed friends with the family and the mom that I was able to get to know really well, and it really opened my eyes to what it means to have a child with autism in this city, in this town, and the process of getting services and supports for her child. I also got a chance to meet her child who does not have autism and what it was like for a sibling experience of having a sibling with autism. So one of the things that really surprised me since starting my graduate program at the U of R was the amount of opportunities to actually have fun outside of my graduate program. I didn't really know that much about the city of Rochester before moving here, but this place is really the city of festivals, and as soon as it gets warm, which depending on what year it is, it may be May, it may be April, but there are so many festivals every single weekend that you often have to make a choice about which one you're going to spend your time at. And I've also enjoyed the opportunity to be part of the Kickball League of Rochester. I've been a part of that team, the same team, for about 6 or 7 years. And it's been a nice opportunity to bond with people both from my program but across other disciplines, and I still stay in contact with them. So I just have always been really surprised about what there actually is to do here in Rochester, and I think it's just waiting for people to come find out.